Good evening, all. I hope it's been a great day. A lot of information, and I think let me again welcome you all to CIO Connect 2024. Me and Ashwin were thinking about the session. How do we really conduct this session? And we thought, why don't we make it more interactive in terms of the overall theme what we are driving in terms of overall working. So the idea is again to take the overall pointers which the earlier speakers have given. Thanks Ajit for setting up the stage, talking about hyper collaboration. This is very key for us because if we look at the changing world where we are talking about much complexities, how do we really solve them, how do we really address those challenges, right? Both internal and external collaboration is a key thing. What was a message, what we had. Naveen bringing up a global perspective about, the data, what's the importance of the data, and then, bringing up a Gen AI. Samir, thanks. The OODA loop was fantastic in terms of overall working. We see that our customers are definitely being using because decision making and the decision support and overall working is the key. What we see our customers are more successful when they are making their transformational journey, right? And Rajesh, fantastic on terms of creating that layer of structure of solutions, which is key for, we'd have to see that every challenges are different and needs to be addressed with solutions which are well accepted in the industry. Now I'll pick up one of the topics, which is data. And I'm pretty sure when we look at the data part of it, data is a new oil. And I mean, we'll have to see whether we are actually capturing the data correctly, accurately, whether, the data what we are collecting is even usable for the person to take a decision. What is more important is to ensure that, the decision is, the data is collected, the data is being properly contextualized and also effectively utilized. Now, as per the Seagate report, we see that, only 32% of the data is getting utilized. That means 68% of data is unleveraged. What does it mean that, we're not providing the right data sets to our teams who are on the operations, our maintenance, are the key decision makers who are actually taking the right decisions for improving the business outcomes. So right data at a right time to a right people is what we are looking at. Now let me, I hope everybody knows our Google Maps, how we actually, it works. Look at the way how it is being contextualized. When we start doing some of the activities from point A to point B, we want to travel, we definitely want to see that, how much is the time it is going to take to travel from A to B location, right? And we also want to understand that whether there are any hurdles. Are we looking at seeing that, whatever data is provided is accurate or not? If you really look at it, the data is contextualized to an extent where we understand that, okay, fine, should I start now or should I start after 30 minutes, right? What is more important to understand is whether the data is accurate, and if that data is accurate, can I trust that data completely, right? And what does it really mean? It means that, a lot of data sets are being compiled, combined, collected, analyzed, and understand that, when we're talking about this, the different several factors, and I'm talking about when you compare with our operations and maintenance part of it, a similar kind of a challenges will come. There will be a lot of obstructions when we are talking about this example, reaching from point A to point B, right? We will have a traffic congestions, we may have a different weather conditions. So what is important is to understand, those data sets are being analyzed. And when Ashwin actually brought this in one of the forums, larger point context came up, whether we are looking at data aggregation as a part and what is the volume of a data we're looking at. Look at 150 million people are contributing for the data information. That does mean that, from an operations standpoint, what we are missing out is the knowledge what our operations and maintenance team can bring in, which is again a larger problem that we need to address, whether it is getting stored somewhere so that, the information can be reused again, right? Then coming up, when we plan really about data part of it, and as I said, I'll pick up only one point of overall topics which Naveen, Ajit and Rajesh and Samir brought up. The main part is the data part of it. We are really looking at to see that, whether the data is being utilized to optimize the business, to use the data in terms of creating the right strategy plans for our maintenance, whether this is helping me to improve the asset reliability, Whether I'm looking at to improve the process part of it from the productivity standpoint, or whether it can enhance the reductions in my waste, and also, how do I really look at the sustainability standpoint, right? Or whether the ESG of the words, the kind of jargons we look at it, are we really kind of addressing those aspects? And when we really look at it, what is more important is data. And we all know, many of our customers say, okay, we collect the data. The data is collected at SCADA systems, data is collected from the PLCs. But what is more important to understand this raw data, does it really make an impact or, give you the information which is important? Where does it has an intelligence? What is corely important is to see that, how we contextualize this particular data to ensure that it reaches to the right person for making a right decision. It be like a decision support system. Now, we would have seen a lot of jargons about data management. We talk about decision making system, DSS, and how do we really look at it? And once we actually contextualize the data, which is going to be a key foundation for our data management, look at the way how we can utilize this for our improvement of operations, our business outcomes, right? Now, with a larger perspectives, we also see that, the 3S plays a larger role. And that's where, I have my colleague who been there in the industry, he was our customer. Ashwin had the challenges, and that's the reason. Ashwin, can you please explain the concept of 3S?
Yeah, I think very important point, Praveen. Especially when you look at the operations data, right? There are immense challenges that comes up, and unlike your normal transaction data, this is very different in nature. And as you rightly pointed out, the 3S. When I talk about 3S, it's basically scope, scale, and security. And what does this all mean? When I talk about scope, we are dealing with legacy products, we are dealing with, latest protocols and stuff like that, data getting updated at different frequency, different resolution. Naveen earlier showed a very good image of how you would, be when you carry on with the legacy systems. But at the same time, we cannot do away with it at one go. We need to handle and manage that. And that's one of the major challenges. And we are dealing with real-time data, we are dealing with historical data, and at the same time, we also look at predictions, forecast and all those things, which is more like a future data. So we need to handle all those kind of stuff. And then when we talk about the scale part of it, we are talking about just a single asset, we are talking about plant, we are talking about your entire enterprise. So the scalability should be there, and when you go for scaling up, the challenges that you would typically face is with respect to, the contextualization part of it, understanding what data is where and how you would want to leverage it, data cataloging kind of stuff. And then we are also looking at it from a point of easy retrieval, that becomes the scale part of it, and making it ready for AI. We talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and that's where this becomes very important. And finally, when we are talking about OT data, security plays a key and a vital role. And when you look at integrations across your OT, IT, and you would have seen, we also have the third dimension, which is the engineering data, which we typically refer it as ET. We'll have to bring all these three domains together, and we again have to focus on data at rest, data at motions, and all those kind of things. So these are the typical challenges when you look at it from an OT data perspective, and how we need to handle it. That becomes very important, Praveen.
Thanks, Ashwin. I think that's the mantra of 3S, and probably looking at how do we really construct our data management layer is basically to look at all these 3S being contributing to ensure that we not only are collecting the data from every asset what we have. Now, this is a larger challenge. Many of our customers say, okay, fine, we are collecting the data from SCADA. The data is not only a SCADA data what we collect. We have a PLC data, we have IoT coming into picture. As I said, the world is changing, and we have a lot of other systems which we need to integrate, be it manual systems, be it LIMS, be it the systems which are coming from the raw material. We have stock exchange details, we have details which we have to do a lot of churn and working. And to do this, from an enterprise standpoint, what is more important to look at it is not to look at this as a whole silos of the working. Like whether I'll have a system which can only do an energy management system, or which is only supporting my safety systems, or looking at quality part of it, or regulatory compliances. What is more important is to bring those complete set of data on a one single platform and build those application or use case internally. Now, this is how our customers globally are being benefited in terms of working, and that's what we are being proud to share that perspectives. And I think, a lot of our earlier key speakers have shared those viewpoints. Now, these are the customers who have been started their journey. The journey was pretty tough because, they have to really work on collecting the data, integrating those data sets with multiple data sources. Now, you need to have that data management layer which can actually help and ease your life, right? Looking at this particular slide part of it, and the outcomes, as I think Rajesh has shared and Naveen also has shared a lot of stuff. If you really look at it, the use cases are available online, and these use cases, the customers have been open to share their viewpoints. There are the larger challenges what they face when they started the digital journey, and this is how we make this a platform open and collaborative for you. One of the key things what we always do is to bring up those experts, bring up those customers together so that you can exchange your views and work on it. Look at the way the customers have been addressing their problems, right from operations, where Eastman was looking at how do they really have the improvement in their operations. And Air Liquide talking about doing a remote monitoring where the assets are being spread across and they really wanted to ensure that the data is collected and remotely monitored. Look at Bayer's part of it in R&D integration. There, it looks little odd that, what is that something research and R&D department is doing. What we always collaborate with a lot of OEMs, wherein, you can always give the feedback loop to your customers about improvement in the qualities, which your sub-supplier items also.
Praveen,
so that's important.
Can you make this more interesting? Can we call one of our customers in the room and we can hear from them instead of you saying this?
Yeah, that's exciting.
So, I think we have Abhiram from Deepak Fertilizers who's been kind enough to share. There are customers using one of our products. So Abhiram, we would really like to hear from you. Some benefits, what you have seen.
So thanks for this last minute surprise. So yes, we have been on a journey for digital transformation smart factory, as our esteemed Sir Deepak sir will guide us in the next session. But definitely, since these guys have given me opportunity, I'll speak on behalf of Deepak Fertilizers, what we have done so far. So a couple of years back, we started this journey, and then eventually, as Praveen is mentioning, this data to insights. So we came across AVEVA, and then we thought of exploring this, and then AVEVA Pi, which we have gone through the understanding of the product and implemented at one of our plants in Taloja as basically the pilot. And then eventually we could see the benefits, and then that data analysis which we were doing earlier, now it has given a lot of insight to us, which we are doing manually initially. So now basically we will be exploring all these products further, and the way Praveen and team is mentioning, there are so many opportunities in future once we get that data. So we are in a journey where we will explore all these products and how we can leverage that particular data which we have started capturing to get those insights on asset performance, or be it early event detection or the future predictions of all our assets, be it a mechanical, rotary or static equipments, or even the process part of it. So yes, of course, we will be looking forward to the more and more products and technologies innovations from you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
So probably, this will be a last slide with the interest of time. Just want, Ashwin, can you please quickly share what exactly, when we talked about the data part of it, if you can run through the slide quickly.
So I think in the earlier sessions, we heard what are the possibilities with, the PI system, what different customers are doing, how they. Here I'll try to focus on how this is done and what is the platform. Just very quick, I won't go too much into the technicalities of it. But what we essentially do is, this is one platform where, we give you the complete end-to-end capabilities. Right from collecting the data from the source, be it, as Praveen mentioned, it could be PLCs, SCADAs, DCS, anything, you name it, any operational data source. we have almost 450 plus connectors that we have built over the years through which we can seamlessly connect the data. Not just collecting the data. Now when you come, look at the store and enhance part of it, we have something called as data archive. This is probably one of the best in class time series database which is available, which can handle millions of data streams, extremely powerful in terms of storing data for the entire life of the asset, right, 15, 20 years, that too online. So its data is available at your fingertips, and you can retrieve the data as easy as if you want to retrieve yesterday's data as against a day 10 years back, it becomes the same. The time that you need to retrieve the data is same. So that's a very powerful time series database which is available. On top of that is where it's completely different than a traditional historian, and this is where we have the asset framework layer where we can contextualize the data, and you can build templates, hierarchies, and all those kind of stuff. And on top of that, we have what we call as asset analytics, and this is a real-time streaming analytical engine where you can drive a lot of analysis, calculations, and that too on real-time basis. And then finally event frames, and this is where you can exactly pinpoint what is the issues that are happening in your plant, contextualizing batches, tracking downtimes, efficiency, excursions, and all those kind of stuff. And finally you have a notifications layer through which you can send out notifications. And then finally making this data available to different personas at the right time, just at your fingertips. And this is where we have various delivery mechanisms of the data. One of it is the visualization tools. We have PyVision and Data Link where clients can access data on the go wherever they are, and it becomes very easy for them to access data. And then we have integrators and Pi system access through which you can actually democratize the data in a secure manner, use it for integrating with different enterprise level systems, sending it to cloud, and all those kind of stuff. And then further, we also have this data on our Connect platform. Very quickly I'll touch upon that. So we can further enhance it and take it to the cloud, and this is where Pi system is truly an hybrid offering, the Pi system infrastructure. And this is where we have data which can go on a cloud, it can work on a hybrid model and enable you to drive different kind of use cases, be it around advanced analytics, be it around enterprise visualization. I'm not going into details in all of these, but in the interest of time, but if you are interested, we have a demo booth there. You can come and we can have this discussion in detail. So with this, I will probably come to the end of the session, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.